Hey guys, it's me. Welcome to Making Friends, the vidcast where I answer your questions about illustration. As you can see, I am in my new studio / laundry room. I'm still trying to figure out the space and how it's all going to look. And this episode, as you might expect from someone who has just moved their entire studio in a weekend, things are a little bit lower key, a little bit more off the cuff. So I do my best to answer a question anyway. I have a couple questions about agents and working internationally. So I hope you guys enjoy the episode. I wanted to show up and give you guys something, and I will be back next week with a little bit of a shinier production, I hope. Or maybe not. Maybe it's nice that this is kind of low-key. It's actually kind of relaxing. And anyway, we'll figure things out. Thanks for watching and enjoy the episode. Hey guys, good morning, happy Monday. I'm in a new space, so I'm in my new studio and I'm very excited and still just kind of getting started and set up. But as you can see, there's a laundry room sink behind me, and you'll see that there are also some washing machines and dryers and whatnot, and cat litter box. So we're still trying to figure out the space, but I'm excited that I have my own space. I don't pay rent to the man anymore, and this side looks really good. The part that you can't see where I actually work, it's looking all right. I still have some wiring to figure out. I have lots of cables, and I ended up getting this custom-made desk, like right flush to the wall, and there's no holes or cracks for wires to go from above the desk to below the desk where all the outlets are. So I have a guy coming in today to drill some holes in the table and kind of put some special little things in it that make it look finished, and then after that things will be looking better. But anyway, that's big news around here. I'm in a new space, and I'm going to be trying to figure out what's going to be in the background of these videos when I'm recording. Maybe it will just be the fancy new sink and cabinet. I don't know. Anyway, I hope you guys are well. How has your week been? And how have your, what are you guys working on? What kind of illustrations are you doing? What kind of work are you doing? What kind of questions are you running into? Last week I really had my head down and I was working a lot on 2 map projects and a kind of more abstract architectural project, and all of these things will be kind of getting out and seeing the light of day in the next few weeks. 10 weeks until, now there's 10 weeks until Icon in Detroit, and I can't believe it's coming up that fast. So I'll be spending the next few weeks thinking a lot about my workshop and exactly how I will translate my Skillshare class in key maps into an in-person workshop and how that works. I'll also be producing and printing some prints that I'll be selling at Roadshow. I just heard on Friday that I got accepted to be a seller at the Roadshow at Icon. Roadshow is the sort of market night they have at the conference, where if people have applied and got in to this particular event to be a seller, then they can set up a booth and sell their goodies. So I'll be selling. I'll be standing in there with my friend Vince from Everloving Press, and we'll be selling some of our fabulous new prints that we'll be working on in the next few weeks. And I'll probably also have a few things of my own, including my enamel pins, whatever's left of them by that time. So that's also news. In terms of questions, I will now open your questions and just see what I can answer real quick. I get this question a lot. It's about, how do you get an agent or rep? I feel like that's one of the most frequently asked questions I get. How do you get an agent or a rep? I actually addressed that in my previous episode in episode 11. So if you just go to my YouTube channel and look up that episode and you look in the show notes, there's kind of a table of contents and you can click the link where I actually talk about my take on getting an agent. This question comes from Marilyn Frigault, and she asked me via email, what would you say is the best way to get noticed by an agent or rep when you have no experience? And to be honest, I don't know. I mean, it depends what you mean by experience. If you have no experience illustrating commercially at all, you're going to have a hard time getting a rep unless you're a brilliant, super talented, top 1% kind of illustrator out of school and you already have an amazing body of work. But it's unlikely you're that person. Very few people are, on account of it being 1%. And so I would just say, if you have no experience, you're going to have to cut your teeth for a while, spend some time working up your portfolio. So that means taking on any job you can, any job you can tolerate, and any job, and taking those jobs and turning lead into gold or turning silver into gold. So you might be getting projects from your neighbor, your uncle, the local school, your student like club, or maybe a local something, whatever it is. It's probably going to be small at first. You take that thing and you do some alchemy and you turn that into a dream project as much as possible. And it's not always going to work out. Some people just want you to do this simple thing. But if you have a vision for it that's creative and you get excited about it, I'm talking about illustration jobs that you may or may not have, that kind of come from people who know you're artistic, and they say, hey, so and so Marilyn is an illustrator, maybe she can design my business cards. And it's like this total mismatch of what they think you do and what you do. But you can maybe say, okay, I can do their business card, but maybe this is an opportunity to really flex my illustration skills here and bend them toward looking like a really great business card or something like that. You just have to take the opportunities you're given and do your best, do the best thing you can do with them. And a lot of them will just end up, hopefully you get paid, and a lot of them might end up just sort of things you won't show. But even if 10% of those end up being something you'd show, every 10 jobs you get a new thing for your portfolio, and then you can pop that up onto your you can put that up on your portfolio, and then you can hopefully over time have something that you're confident enough, a body of work that you're confident enough to send to an agent. And I speak a little bit in episode 11 about how you should not just randomly submit your portfolio to all agents everywhere, but do your research, look up illustration agencies that really tickle your funny bone and wet your whistle, or however you want to put it. Basically find the ones that you feel you have overlap with in terms of sensibility and vision and the kind of work you want to be doing. Don't send your portfolio to a kids lit illustration agency or rep if you want to be doing advertising illustration. So find the illustration agents you would dream of being represented by, and then start submitting your portfolio to them. But the most important thing is you gotta have some experience. You need to have some body of work that's based on actually showing how you solved problems through your skills, right? As illustrators, yes, we're artists, yes, we're creating things that have that sort of transcend reason and the idea of solving a problem. But because this is commercial art, we have people paying us to create art that fits into something within their brand, something within their product, something about their advertising campaign. So it's part of a problem and solution scenario. And as an illustrator, your job is to think about how an image communicates an idea or conveys a feeling in the best way possible. And so you want to show in your portfolio your thinking, not just your pretty pictures, but how your thinking has solved problems. And I mean, one thing is, of course, you need just standalone great images. So to look at an illustration, apart from whether it was in a bus shelter ad or in a book, the image itself should be very attractive. And so that those images are what the agent is going to be looking at to assess whether you're a fit. But then you also, it really helps when they know that illustration was part of an ad campaign or part of a children's book, and then they can see the rest of that. And so it's one thing just to have the ability to create a beautiful image, but it's another thing to get a job from someone and for a specific purpose, like an ad or a book, and to create it within that context, and then just shows how your illustration skills have been used commercially, and so are viable and have the potential to earn money for you, earn money for the agency who's representing you. They exist because they take a cut of the fees that are charged for your work. And so the more likely you are to bring in income, the more likely they are, obviously, to take you on. So Marilyn continues as she says, how does an illustrator work internationally while choosing to work remotely or at home? And what is involved in setting this up? So, I mean, obviously, because of the internet, you can work from anywhere for anyone, anywhere else. So whether they're right next door or on the opposite side of the globe, that's kind of the more basic answer. But obviously you know that, and you're probably more asking, maybe how do you get known internationally in the first place so that people internationally are asking you to do your work? Big part of that is getting a representative. That's been the case for me. So I specifically saw, my first agent was in Europe or in England, and so that got my name out on that side of the world. And so my agent there will go to shows and fairs and whatever with my portfolio, along with the others in my in that agency, and suddenly my work is being looked at by art directors and other people who would use and buy illustration, art buyers, etc. out that way. So an agent's a great way. Of course, getting your work on internationally known and acclaimed blogs or Instagram accounts. I've mentioned, like, They Draw and Travel, They Draw and Cook before. So these are Instagram accounts that feature illustration based on themes like culinary, traveling, maps, that kind of thing. And then if they like your work and feature it, then suddenly, boom, people on the internet all over the place are able to see it and encounter it. And you do that enough, of course, you're going to get contacted by people somewhere else than where you live, and you'll be getting more work like that. So working internationally, I think is actually just, it's never been easier to work internationally, just based on the fact that the internet exists, right? So it's really just a matter of making some connections, doing some work that gets up on things that people in other countries are seeing, and so that's how that works. In terms of setting it up, yeah, I don't know. Maybe there's more specific questions that you have that that I'm not seeing in this. Maybe it's like, maybe it's about how to get paid from someone in England. Do you get paid by check, or how does that work? So maybe that's a question you have. For working in Europe for European clients, there's sometimes some weird tax stuff, like you need a VAT, like a tax number and stuff like that. And you have to kind of set up something, I think, with European agencies between you and your own country. Like in Canada, there's this whole, I don't even know what it's called, but there's this whole tax number thing you need to work with European Union, like countries in the European Union. And I was on my way to getting that, and then I realized I could just get paid through my agent, and that just makes it easier for me. So that's how I get paid from my European clients. So I am set up to get paid from England through my agent, and that's just wire transfers. So my bank has information for how to receive a wire transfer from Europe, and I just give that to them with my specific information, and I get paid within 5 days of them sending me money, and so now I just kind of use them as a proxy for getting paid in Europe because they're set up to get paid there, and then I can just go through that. And I do have to pay a small cut of my fees for that convenience, but right now it just makes sense for my agent to provide that service to me, and I think it's good value. Um, that's one international, like that's one thing to think about when you work internationally, is how you're actually going to get paid. Of course, there's PayPal. If you use PayPal enough, you're gonna be paying a lot of fees to PayPal. So there's that to think about. When I work for more individual clients, one-on-one things, then yeah, I get paid by PayPal. I'm in Canada, and so my biggest trading partner is the US, and so most of my international work is with the US. And I think right now the setup's pretty easy. I can even get paid by check from a US client, and yeah, things are super easy. I also have a US dollars account, and so I've set it up so that when my US agent, so I have an agent in New York, I've set it up so when they pay me, their money goes directly into a US account, and that saves me any on the spot currency exchange rates. And that means when I get paid in US dollars, it stays in US dollars, and I keep it there until I'm ready to withdraw it into my own currency. And so I can do that on my own terms, or if the Canadian dollar is particularly low, then I can compare it to the US dollar, then I can withdraw US money, and that kind of maximizes how much in my own native currency that I can get. So these are just things that I think about when working internationally. But there's some more fundamental things. Those are just sort of more on the business side. But in terms of art, you want to make sure that the work you're making is appealing to a certain market. So if you have a particularly European sensibility, that might mean any number of things to people, but that may do well in the European market. I feel like different regions have different palettes for what they want to see, just stylistically. For some reason, a lot of my work is well received in French-speaking European countries. I've done work in Switzerland, in uh, France, of course, and there was another country there that I've done work in. But for some reason, my work appeals and has reached a French audience, and I don't know why. I do a ton of work for GQ France, and I still have yet to have a knock on my door from GQ here in North America. Just for instance, I feel like I've definitely established myself in Canada as because I do a lot of work that's actually centered around the idea of being Canadian. I do a lot of collaborations with my friend Vince, and we sell products and prints based on the creative community and being in Canada and stuff like that. And so that obviously positions me for this market. So if you're really excited about working in a certain market, research that market, that region, and get a sense of what they're looking for. And maybe like let's just say you're really into European minimalism, and you like sort of a Swiss sensibility, like of course, like um, get excited about that style, research who's doing it, and get your work in front of people in that market. And there's no real formula that I can give you other than just keep your eyes open and look for patterns, and then look for overlaps between what you like and what you do, and then try and get into that space a little more. So Marilyn, thank you for your questions. These are my own experience, and I hope that they've helped you to some degree. And of course, I've touched on some more miscellaneous points today, but I have answered the agent question in episode 11. And also, I do recommend people check out Will Terry's YouTube feed. He's a very uh, insightful and generous YouTuber, offering illustration Q&A type stuff, just like I am. Um, very timely topical conversations on all kinds of things, and I would recommend you go check him out. He's more in the kids lit and book publishing industry, and so he has some different take on things, and he definitely is in a different kind of world stylistically than I am. And so, I think a lot of you might even probably relate more to his world than mine. And so I do recommend you check him out. Anyway, my name is Tom Froese. This is Making Friends. It's a video podcast, or I like to say vidcast, where I answer your questions about illustration. And I love when you guys ask me questions, and I do my best to answer them. And it's just a lot of fun, and it means a lot to me to give my experiences and my take on things, and send. Basically, it's an honor to share what I know, because I know when you're starting out, it's really hard to get a leg up, and it's often hard to find the information and the answers you need. So I'm here to try and help you guys navigate those waters. And you guys can find me at tomfroese.com. You can also find me on social media, Instagram and Twitter. And yeah, if you like these videos, please hit that like button. If you love all these videos, please subscribe to my channel. Subscribing to my channel means that you get notified first when these videos come out, so you never get to miss out. And it also really helps me know that people are watching and interested in the content, and encourages me to keep doing this. If people don't show up to these things, I start to question whether I'm resonating with an audience, or if I'm just speaking to myself here. So the more likes I get, the more subscribers I get, the more I know that I'm doing this, the more sense of purpose I have. And yeah, I just I love the idea that I'm helping people, and that feedback is so important when you guys are. We're also separate in our little studios and our worlds, connected only by copper cables and airwaves, and so the best way of connecting with people, of course, is just by leaving a comment and leaving some kind of footprint that you were there. And I definitely value all these interactions, all your comments, all your questions, all your likes and subscribes. I'm hoping by the end of this year that I will have hit 1,000 subscribers. It's a modest goal, but you guys can help me with that just by hitting the subscribe button, and that just really helps me know that you guys are into it. So thanks for watching, thanks for listening. I hope you guys have a great week, and I'm excited about where I'll be taking this vidcast in the future. I know that I was just about to sign off, but I just remembered. I'm excited to be starting to get in contact with some of my friends in the industry, and we're going to do some kind of Skype conversations, and you got on illustration topics, and you guys can listen in on what we're talking about, and really hopefully get a front seat to what illustrators and creatives talk about when they get together. So anyway, now I'm officially signing off. Thanks for watching. Thanks for joining me in my new space and coming along. And I will definitely be looking out for your questions and thinking about the best answers. Keep making great work and keep asking great questions. I'll see you next week.